day 10 of 100 days of posting, I wanted to come on here and do something a little bit differently. Today I'm going to reflect on the past year and tell you guys 10 things that I did learn in 2024. To be quite honest, I do feel like it was one of my toughest years, but I also feel like it was a very transformative year. From the relationship or situationship struggles, finances, and even career changes. But let's go ahead and dive straight into it. So first and foremost, I would just like to say that trusting God's plan and timing is literally everything. At the beginning of 2024, I thought that I really had everything all figured out. I was chasing my dream to become a licensed esthetician and, just build my clientele and build my business. However, after a while, I started to feel like this path was no longer for me. I just honestly felt like, God had something else in store for me, and becoming an esthetician was definitely not one. Although I did not understand this at first, however, I'm the type of person that will never question God. So I learned to become content with it and just stay still to see what he had in store for me next. So I did not understand any of this at all, but looking back, I can definitely say that this decision or this realization was definitely preparing me for greater. I will say that trusting in God's timing is always super important, even though you feel like things are not going as you planned. So I will say that another thing that I did learn was being dependent on others can be such a humbling experience. First, I did tell you guys that I was in esthetician school, and the particular school that I was going to lasted around about 5 months, meaning that I was literally at that school from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening, which also means I did not have the time to work and make money to pay my bills or take care of my daughter and I if I was not door dashing. Now you may be wondering, well, how did your bills get paid if you were not able to work a 9 to 5 and you were going to school from 8 to 5 and you only door dashed here and there when you did feel like it? Well, I was talking to this guy and he knew what I wanted to do. I told him my dreams, I told him my aspirations, and he was cool with, taking care of everything until I finished school and actually had got on my feet. However, the short-lived, I don't even know, I don't even want to call it a relationship, but for the sake and out of respect, I will, because technically he did ask me to be his girlfriend, and I feel like I was not ready, or I feel like I forced it and it just ended up all bad. However, once that very short-lived relationship ended, I had to figure out what I was gonna do as far as finances. And baby, that is just another story for the day, but we are gonna kind of dive into it in the later part of the video. I will say that not being able to be independent and depend on myself as far as paying for all of my expenses made me realize that I took my stability for granted. I feel like I did not work hard enough to stay grounded where I was before I decided to pursue my dream to become an esthetician. I will say that once things ended and that person was no longer taking care of my daily expenses, it did remind me of the importance of building a foundation for myself and making sure that I'm secure by all means necessary. So another thing that I did learn in 2024 is that love does not always look how you expect it to be. The reason why I will say this is because I started talking to this particular guy in 2022, and things were not as clear as I would like for them to be or what I feel like they should have been. And I stuck around and I paid for it in the end, because in the end I felt like I was truly heartbroken once I finally grasped that we were not on the same page. This particular situation did remind me that creating boundaries are super important, and it's simply okay to walk away from a person if you no longer feel like you're not growing in that situation or you guys are not aligned with one another. And we'll drink behind that. It's just water. Also, this particular situation also just made me realize again that it's important to walk away before it's like too late, and it's also important to learn how to love yourself and put yourself first, so when you do run into similar situations as such, it won't be so difficult for you to walk away because you know that this person or this situation does not align with your values. And even though I felt like once I finally let go of that toxic situation, I really didn't want to, you know, talk to anybody or show interest in anyone or anything like that. However, I did also learn that new friendships can also be healing throughout this journey. So technically, I'm not gonna call what I went through a breakup because like I said, it was just a typical situationship. But I will say after this, I did end up like consistently talking to someone new. And again, I did not expect like a new connection so soon. However, I did end up communicating with this guy. We have created a really great friendship. We do see each other from time to time, and we will also grab like food and things like that without feeling the pressure of like something being too serious, if that makes sense. I feel like this was also a reminder that like great friendships or benefiting friendships pop up when you least expect them to. I will say that this newfound friendship has been very nice, and it has also been a very grounding experience for me. So coming in at number 5, I will say that I learned the power of persistence in job searching. Guys, when I say literally last year, I literally applied for so many jobs and I was being turned down. I'm not even exaggerating. Even though I felt like I was continuously being rejected, I did not give up and I did not lose my faith. I will say that that persistence did pay off once I finally did land my first job after being unemployed for numerous of months. And I'm not gonna lie, when I did get this work from home job, I literally thought that I was in for the long haul. I thought that it would be a long-term gig. However, shortly after about 3 months, I realized that I was not happy with this job, and I feel like that I was settling just to find the stability and to have an income, or a for sure income coming in to take care of the things that I needed to take care of. I just feel like it was a constant grind, and then the micromanagement became like obsessive, and I do not like when someone is basically like breathing down my neck. Even though I was working from home, the job was very tedious. You had to work hard to make your money, and then management, you're always on calls and they're telling you like what you can do better, how much harder you need to work. And honestly, I grew tired of that. So I was just like, okay, like it's definitely time to step it up and find my dream job. So of course, with that being said, I did end up unemployed for about a month before I ended up landing the job that I have now. So I will say that the 16th that I did learn in 2024 is not to settle for mediocre jobs. And when I say mediocre jobs, it's basically like where you're basically just staying at that job in order to have an income, to pay the bills, and to take care of like your necessities or even some of your wants, but you're not truly happy. And I will say that even if you do find yourself in this position because you feel like you need this job to have stability, do not get stuck in this job and do not ever feel like you cannot go after more. Life is simply too short to waste time on jobs that you feel like are bringing you no happiness or growth. You may be wondering what the 7th thing was that I learned in 2024, and I will say that 2024 taught me that sometimes losing everything is just a blessing in disguise. So I know this next one, it's really hard for me to talk about, or it was really hard for me to talk about because I was so ashamed for a very long time. However, I do take accountability for the things that I did experience in 2024 because I feel like that I let my way of doing things get in the way, and I feel like that I lost sight of where God was actually trying to place me. I will say the hardest lesson that I did have to learn in 2024 was having to move back home after being evicted from my apartment. Yes, I said it. I was evicted from my apartment in 2024. And at the time, it did feel like a massive failure, but today, just looking back at it, I honestly feel like that was my wake-up call to get my life together. I definitely had to reassess my life, my finances, and my priorities. This event really forced me to slow down and made me reset my goals. Looking back now, I do feel like that losing everything is sometimes better or the best thing that can ever happen to you because it opens new doors for something greater. 2024 also taught me that you should take control of your finances even when you feel like it's very hard. I struggled a lot last year. However, it did truly teach me that I needed to learn how to budget, save money, and take my finances seriously. It also taught me the importance of, just having to plan for the future. Last year in 2024, I definitely made paying off my debt a priority. Even though I do have a long way to go, I did start small. I did make some progress because I got two collections. Well, I got one collection fully paid off and I have two that are almost paid off now. It definitely is not easy, but I just feel like if I just pay off a little by little at a time, eventually it's going to add up and it's going to be very rewarding in the end. However, I was definitely reminded that financial literacy is key to life, honestly. And it's also the key to feeling secure and confident about your life. So like I said early in the video, I did become unemployed after my first job had fell through. So at that point, I was feeling kind of pressured to, just hop back into another job. However, I didn't want to do that this time, and that's why I sat still and waited until I got the okay from God. You also have to understand that sometimes rushing not always bring you the best results. Sometimes we simply need to wait for the opportunities that do align with our goals and values. And I'm super, super thankful that I was patient and I was graceful enough to eventually land my dream job in IT or information technology. And last but not least, I do feel like growth takes time and patience. Looking back in 2024 or on 2024, I can say that growth does not happen overnight. Truly, truly, truly takes time, patience, and trust in the process. Whether it's your career, your relationship, finances, or personal development. I just want to tell you that it's okay to take your time. I'm still learning. I know that I'll continue to grow as I continue to keep showing up for myself each day. So with that being said, 2024 was definitely a roller coaster, but I'm grateful for all the lessons that it did bring me. I truly learned a lot about myself and I'm super excited for the year of 2025. I definitely cannot wait to see what 2025 has in store for your girl, honey. If you are going through a tough time right now, I personally just want to tell you that it's okay. You may not feel like you see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I promise you, if you stay patient and true to yourself and just believe, it will get better. Everyone has their own unique journey. No one's journey is the same. Everyone's story is not going to be the same. And I just want you to know that it's okay to focus on you because your journey is unique. And as long as you stay prayed up and you trust in God to bring you through the situation, you will see it through. So I hope you guys have truly enjoyed the 10 things that I did learn in 2024. I just want to thank each of you for always watching and supporting my videos. And I will see you guys next time.